Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for another video. I'm your host, Sheena from Sheena Loves Stories, and today we're going to bring back TDLRs. So if you're unfamiliar, TDLR stands for Too Long Didn't Read, and I like to apply this to books that I have read that I want to tell you guys about, but in a short condensed form. So there will be spoilers, and I will give my rating as best as I can remember, or if I wrote it down, then I will tell you straight from there. But today we are going to be talking about It Lives in the Woods by Boris Bakic. On Storygraph, it has all the little accents and things over it, so I don't know how to pronounce that. But Boris Bakic. I read this through an audiobook through my local library through the Libby app, and it was narrated by Gary Davis. So let me tell you what's on the back of the book before we get into spoilers. Something lurks in the darkness of the trees. A group of friends go on a hike in search of an ancient spring deep inside the forest. Mythical stories come from the woods, tales of gnomes, fairies, and other not so benevolent creatures. Everything changes for the group when they run into a hiker that mysteriously vanished in the area weeks ago. She is malnourished, dehydrated, and hurt, but she keeps raving about the danger in the woods, repeating one incoherent word over another in a foreign language. By the time they turn back the way they came, it's too late. There's something ancient in these woods, something far more dangerous than fairies and gnomes, and it's after them. So, this book, try and get you the story points in a condensed form, takes place in an European country. Doesn't say which one, but it does talk about Germany and being like around there a little bit. Like Germany seems to be close to there. Somewhere over there, there's a very rural country that has a large wooded area, a large forest type thing. And it's a very big hotspot for people to come and hike and do all of those outdoorsy things. We are following mostly, there's other characters that we're following, but we're mostly following two. One of them is an American, who's a man, and he works in some type of tech. I forget what it is. The other one is a woman. She is from this little village nearby this forest area, and those two have been dating. They've been dating for years, but they've only seen each other physically for a few times. The man is thinking about maybe he should break up with her. After he's been with her for a little bit, he's like, I don't feel like I love her. I don't know if we're going to be together for long. Maybe I'm just not the type of person who settles down type of stuff. And she's just like, I want to marry this man and I want us to be together. She's full on in. She's been trying to get a visa to go to the United States for a while, but was denied multiple times. Before he goes back to the States, they decide to go on this huge hiking trip. She invites her brother. They go along on this trip, everything. The brother invites a friend of his that everybody hates. This friend of his is very like alpha male type person. He's all up in the gym all the time. Women should be falling over him, but he's always just like, I'm a nice guy. I'm a good guy. Apparently he also has the hots for his friend's sister, but nobody thinks he does. And he has very off-color humor. And he also refers to the American as the American. I refer to the American as the American because I can't remember his name. I think it was Dylan, but I'm not sure. So he invited his friend to go along with them. And then there's also a couple of German hikers that they kind of hung out with that are also going to this trip. They go on this trip into the middle of the woods. In the middle of the woods, there was another group of hikers, a couple, that went missing. Their pictures are everywhere. They're missing. They're gone. They don't know what's happening. So they're going into this hiking. The friend, his name was I think Bogdan. One of those two. I think it's Bogdan. Bogdan is a straight up dick to everybody. Just a straight up asshole. Nobody likes him. Nobody wants him around except for the girlfriend's brother, who it's just like, you guys don't get his humor. He's not serious. He's just an asshole. It's fine. But her brother is the type of person who gets along with everybody and becomes friends with everybody. I don't know if you know those people, but they give other people a lot of grace. That's just how they are. You don't understand. It's fine. So they go into these woods. They're trying to find, they call it the Eye. There is a pond, lake area, a water area that when it becomes a certain level of water, you can see these little island areas and it looks like a giant eye. They want to go there. They want to take pictures. I don't know why the girlfriend thought this would be a good idea, because none of them are physically fit enough except for Bogdan to go onto this hike. They're having a hard time keeping up with each other. And Bogdan's standing there making fun of all of them because he's in the gym 24/7, apparently. He is subtly, well, not so subtly, hitting on the girlfriend while telling her brother that the American wants to break up with her and he's worried that it's going to break her heart. And the way that he's talking with everybody else makes it seem like him and the girlfriend had a previous relationship. We find out that's not the case. He just wants to have her because she doesn't want him, is my guess. They continue going to the hiking area and then they start getting attacked. While they're in the hiking area, we flip to a different storyline. There is a military group that is a part of a corporation that hunts cryptids. It's kind of vague, very interesting. It's a private company, so that kind of explains why they're able to operate in different countries other than the United States where they're based, but they're all filled with like ex-military people. This one commander is put in charge and they're trying to figure out who killed their team at a surveillance site, and they need to tag the creature. They don't know what it is. That's why they need to tag it. They want it under surveillance. So guy's like, all right, let's go. They get on a plane, they go, and this guy has a reputation for being the only survivor on his missions. So his team's not too happy about that. And they go out and they find the surveillance site and they see that there's blood everywhere, all of that stuff. They're trying to hunt down this creature. The creature ends up killing all but 2 of the team. There's a team of, I think, 5 or 7. I think it's just 5, but kills 3 of them pretty quickly while they're trying to tag it. The commander guy wants to leave, but he's like, we didn't finish the mission. We got to finish the mission. We got to finish the mission. Can't leave without tagging the thing. So they end up crossing with the hikers. Well, the hikers hear gunshots. They don't really know what it is. Dylan, the American, is the only one who's like, I think I know what that sound is. I think it's gunshots. That's the only time I've ever heard sounds like that before, were gunshots. Like, okay. But he doesn't say anything. The group ends up separating because there's a whole argument because Bogdan's a dick. They end up coming back together a little bit, but 2 of them are killed very quickly. The Germans are killed by this creature. It's described as being almost human-like, but not. Has long claws, like a weird mouth that's like bigger than what it should be, but they keep saying that it kind of looks like a human, like a woman. The Germans are killed. Before the second German is killed, they find a woman and she's running at them. They get her. She's severely dehydrated, malnourished, and they're like, we know who this is. This is the missing hiker that was missing for weeks. They try to talk to her. They try to question her, but she is very hysterical. And she keeps saying one word over and over in a foreign language that we don't know, but the girlfriend's like, I kind of know what this is. And then she ends up passing out. So they decide that nobody can carry this girl because Bogdan's like, fuck you guys, I'm not carrying this girl. That's heavy. Who else is going to carry her? Why is it all on me? Type of behavior. So they're like, well, we can't carry her, so we have to wait for her to wake up to be able to leave the woods so we can report this. When the other German goes to find one of the other Germans, that's when he's killed. And then they end up running for their lives, trying to get through these wooded areas, try and find out where they need, just trying to get away. They're not really running towards anything. They're just trying to get away from this creature that has killed the Germans. And Bogdan and the brother end up going off by themselves. Bogdan realizes that he is not ready to die, so he lets the brother die instead of helping him. He lets the creature thing, it looks like a woman. They keep saying it looks like a woman. It varies between an older and a younger woman, but it looks like a woman cryptid. So he sacrifices the brother to save himself. They end up running into the boyfriend and the girlfriend run into the military team, and they run into this team at this village that was overgrown. It looks misused. At the beginning of the book, this village was found by the hikers that went missing. And that's where they found this thing that started killing them. So they run into this cabin, and the girl starts waking up, and she's just like, where are we? And then she's like, oh no, you brought me to its house. I'll be fine. You guys are dead. I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. I was like, so the girl was being kept for a reason. Okay. They end up putting mines, everything. Bogdan comes back in, but Bogdan realizes during this time that he wants to kill people. He decides that he wants to kill people, that he wants to hurt people. Not only does he want to do that, he wants to kidnap the girlfriend and assault her. And then kill her very slowly. So obviously Bogdan is extra not a good guy to have around. Except this is going on in his brain. He saw the creature kill his best friend, and he was just like, you know what? I want to do something like that. That's my calling. That's what I want to do. So they're in this cabin. They're trying to do military things. They're just kind of around there. They don't really know what to do. They can't leave to go to the loadout zone or anything like that until they tag the creature. And they can't really leave the civilians there because they're like, oh, well, we reported into HQ. HQ is just telling us to get them to the loading zone, and so they can be taken out of here, and they'll be safe. They'll be fine. And then the creature comes at them, starts attacking them. And once it starts attacking them, Bogdan starts attacking the boyfriend, or trying to tell the boyfriend that they need to attack the girl who woke up because she's the witch. Because at this point, they're like, it's a witch. It's a witch. She's the witch. It was a young woman. It looked like a younger woman, so it's obviously this girl and not really a cryptid type thing. And he's like, so we need to do that. And they end up getting into this huge fight. It ends up with one of the military people dying, and only the commander left, the one who they were just like, oh no, we're stuck with this guy, now we're gonna die. Yeah, they all died. That guy survived. He tagged the creature, and he's like, all right, we're gonna head out. Did my job. I'm out of here. Bye. Bogdan ends up kidnapping the girlfriend and then leaving out the window. Dylan is trying to save her, but he can't really save her. The military guy is saying, oh no, well, I can't help you there. That's not my job. I've done my job. I'm going to leave. I'm going to bounce. You can come with me or you can stay here. Either way, I don't give a fuck. So Dylan starts going with him, and then he decides, he's like, no, I love this woman. I can't. Now that she's taken away from me and maybe dying, this is now the point. This right here is right now where I have decided that she is the woman for me. Not the, many years of the relationship or anything like that. This right here, right now, she's the one for me. So I need to go save her. So the military's guy is just like, all right, dude, whatever, bye, and just leaves. Dylan goes to try and find where Bogdan has taken this girl. The girl that they wanted to kill, she was like knocked over the head or something, but she went to go to the witch. And because it was a surprise, it wasn't her. It was something completely different. They get to Bogdan, where Bogdan's at. Bogdan's trying to assault the girlfriend. Like, he's cutting her up, taunting her, or cutting up her clothes, taunting her and everything. Dylan jumps in to try and save them. Or try and save him. Bogdan gets killed by the witch, which they were calling not a witch after a while. It's Baba Yaga. And they do a little explanation of Baba Yaga, but not really. And so I'm like, I don't understand how this is Baba Yaga. I don't know enough about the lore to understand really, but she is an ancient witch that needs to eat hearts to not look like an old person but look like a young woman. And in a backstory was that she ended up eating something, and she found out that it made her younger, so she got addicted to it like a drug. So now she just hunts down people and creatures to eat their hearts to look like a young woman. They end up killing Bogdan, and they're trying to leave. And they're like, we're going to be fine, we're going to be okay. Except it's not really them that killed Bogdan, it was Baba Yaga, and she caught them. So we end that part of it with Dylan and the girlfriend being laid out on some wooden tables, about to be killed. And they're screaming because they're in pain because they're being tortured by Baba Yaga. Dylan's like, look at me, I love you so much. And they die. The last chapter is following that hiker that's being kept. She is being groomed to be Baba Yaga's assistant slash daughter slash maybe next Baba Yaga. Like that's what she's been trained to do. So she's been slowly being brainwashed. She's being fed all of this stuff. She's being told what to do, and she's also being kept there by violence. And she says that she doesn't really know where Baba Yaga came from, but she's like, oh no, maybe this is this one story that she told me, that the story of how she got addicted to eating hearts. But then she just throws out this one line of Baba Yaga telling her that she came from the stars. I'm like, so she's an alien now. And she's like, with the others. I'm like, so you're saying the cryptids are aliens? Is this what you're saying? Is this what you're telling me right now? And that was it. That was the end of the book. Those were the biggest things a part of the book. But I gave this book a 3 out of 5. It's not a bad book. It's not a great book. It's not a bad book. It's an okay book. Kind of depends on where you land on what kind of books you like. I read the Cryptid series, or most of it, except for the last one. So military organizations and cryptids meshing together was done really interesting in that book. So I was expecting a little bit different once that was. And then the whole Baba Yaga thing is like, I don't know. I don't know that story. I don't know what that is. And you're not really explaining things to me other than a blood-addicted witch who may or may not be an alien. But it was okay. Is this a totes or nope? It's right in that middle, so it could be a totes, could be a nope. Depends on what you want to do. Read the back and see if you guys want it. But I read it. Will I read it again? No. Will I read from this author again? Yeah. So I'll give it a totes. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, afternoon, whatever it is where you are. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.